Welcome to Women Entrepreneurs Radio. I'm your host, Deborah Bailey. And when I started this show in 2008, I was on a mission to promote women-owned businesses and help women succeed by providing resources and valuable tips from other women and men, small business owners. In each interview, my guests speak openly about their triumphs, the scary times, and tough decisions they had to make along the way. Women Entrepreneurs Radio is about showing women how to harness their natural strengths to achieve success on their own terms. Hi everyone, welcome to Women Entrepreneurs Radio, and I'm your host, Deborah Bailey. Really glad that you could join me today, and if you're listening to this on iTunes or perhaps some other directory, please make sure that you will share your feedback or a review, because that always helps the show to be found by more people. So if you like what you're hearing, please definitely leave a comment about the show or some feedback about what you've heard. So I'm going to introduce my guest for today. After years in corporate work, Grace Keller is taking her skills and knowledge to a new industry by launching a personal business concierge service. Her company, Saving Grace, stemmed from her own history and wisdom gained from being a caretaker to both of her parents, all while working full-time. She's blending her first-hand experiences by creating a vision that supports everyone for working professionals, people on short-term disability, new moms, parents, disabled, and caregivers who need a little break. Hindsight learning as a caretaker combined with a successful career in finance makes for the perfect ingredients, allowing her to aid others who are on their own journey. So welcome, Grace. I'm really glad to have you here.
Thank you, Deborah, and thanks for having me.
So, in order to really connect with everyone and your clients and get them, I guess, having a better feeling about what they have to do because you're assisting them, how challenging is it really to connect and provide that customer service to people who maybe a little anxious or frazzled?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just having a conversation like you and I are, right? It's just kind of, getting to know them first before we start getting into the one thing or the many things that are stressing them out. Kind of understanding what their lifestyle's like. And here at Saving Grace, we kind of call it, we're the answer to your lifestyle, because everyone's lifestyle is so different. And every day looks so different for them as well. And sometimes there's many, I call them life events, but there are some unforeseen events in people's lives that are going to happen, and it just throws them off kilter. So, kind of understanding some of the background and then understanding what they're going through really helps, to customize an approach of, what's priority, because everything's a priority, right? Everything always is. Everything's marked as one on the list, and you can never prioritize. So that's why that list just gets longer and longer. So then, but, you kind of diffuse the being frazzled state by walking through, tell me what you want to accomplish. What are your goals in the next short term? And I'm talking short term can be, for a personal concierge service, that could be 1 week. But for like a business concierge service, that could be, a longer runway of, 6 to 12 weeks. So it's really understanding, truly what the root of that stress is, and, and just coming up with a game plan.
That's a good strategy. So on your end, since you have to manage a family and then this business, I'm sure that is something that takes a lot of time and focus. How do you manage on your end, to make sure that you're not frazzled and that you can have if not balance entirely, but you can manage the business end and also your personal?
Great question, and sometimes I don't know the answer too, Deborah. You know, every day is different, you know, but there's one thing that's common every day for me. And I live off of spreadsheets, which is kind of my list. You know, some people have mental lists or an actual written list. And that's kind of my written list, but it's also my digital list because then I can carry my laptop with me, and access it on my phone. But, you know, a task list allows me to kind of say, well, this is what my day is going to kind of look like. But, you know, I know that one day, you know, my task list could be administrative, but then something else comes up, you know, where a client may say, hey, I know this is last minute, but can you help me out?
Right.
And, you know, so, you know, juggling that and, you know, having self-care as well on my end is important because if I don't take care of me, I'm unable to do that for my clients as well. So, you know, accepting the fact that, you know, every day is going to be different and setting those expectations that they can change, you know, by the minute, is what gets me through a successful and productive day.
Well, that's a really great answer because I think sometimes people are looking for balance and not ever finding it and probably being frustrated because they don't find it. So, you know.
I was there at one point. I mean, it took me a little bit. It took a lot of discipline to get to that mindset of acceptance of, you know, not everything is going to go as planned because naturally, you know, most of us are just overly cautious.
Right.
And, you know, we want to try to analyze every angle of everything. And, you know, once things start to fall off, you know, the train a little bit, it kind of throws us off too. You can't react. So discipline definitely got me there.
So you also hold events as well. So you're involved in a lot of different things.
I am. So interestingly, so one of the services under my, you know, personal concierge services is personal shopping. I love it. People, it's just an overwhelming task, right? So I got creative a little bit, and creative in the sense that I married two things that I love, you know, charities, you know, supporting charities, and then also this personal shopping service. So what I had done actually that's in this event is, you know, I've curated, handpicked 100 plus items under one roof for one day and to support two charities. And, you know, this allows, you know, people to come in, it's open to the public, to start thinking about the holiday shopping. I know November is fairly early, but for me, I already have all my Christmas shopping done. So, you know, the statistics show that November seems, you know, is like 45% of people, you know, start thinking about Christmas shopping and start actually crossing off that holiday, you know, gift giving list. So what I've done is across various price points, you know, got some ideas for everyone. Everyone has a holiday list, you know, for their significant other or their child's, you know, teacher, their administrative assistant. So there's really something there for everyone. Or of course, if you want to splurge, there's always those gifts too, that you can gift yourself. But, you know, the most important part is, you know, we're supporting two charities that are very near and dear to our hearts, and, you know, and having that connection with them, you know, with the charities, and they're actually going to be on site at the event on November 5th.
That's great. And as far as it's interesting how you tie together the shopping and also the charity event. I think that's a really great idea to pull those two things together. Sounds like it's really going to be a lot of fun.
It sure is. And there's going to be a free massage tune-up, so, you know, why pass it up?
And you're located in Chicago.
Yes, we are. We're actually, the event will be located in the Logan Square neighborhood in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So anybody listening who's over there, you're really going to be in luck to be able to take advantage of that. So just to let the listeners know where they, what the location will be for that. So you also do personal shopping. Is that very, very challenging in terms of, compared to your other services, or is that more fun, or?
I would say home organization is actually like as fun as personal shopping. Okay. It's really getting the root of understanding what the individual style is of a client. Mm-hmm. And you really get to know that when you kind of walk through their closet. And I say home organization just because I do a lot of, closet purges and organization, mm-hmm. and kind of making it more of a connection for the client when they're actually walking through their closet. Mm-hmm. And the personal styling, the personal shopping kind of comes in hand most of the time with those two services. But I have fun with it. Again, there are a lot of clients who don't feel that it is. To bring them out of their shell, kind of understanding what it is that like their current state is of their style. But then, as they start to talk a little bit more, you kind of pick up these, clues of, well, I've been thinking about trying, this style, but I'm not, I haven't gone to the store and actually tried it on. Mm-hmm. So I get to be able to hand pick those styles and bring them into their home and let them try it in their own comfort zone. Wow. So, so for me, that's fun. On top of, what's really the most fun is that vision of seeing them in it and trying it, being open to it, and then being comfortable with it, and then obviously having it land in their actual closet for their everyday wear. So, so yes to your answer.
Yes, I've usually wondered because I've seen the personal shopper like at a store. If you're going in for certain types of clothing, and they'll pick things out and that kind of thing. I know what you do is much more extensive since you're working with so many different things with the client. But it just looked like it would be very interesting. I guess profession, let's say. For someone who really likes to work with people and really can kind of help them to solve their wardrobe problems. It looks like it could be fun, I think, to do. One of those things, with shopping, I think is always fun. If you don't have to worry about spending your money. Exactly. Right. You can pick up things for someone else. It's like, kind of living vicariously through someone else's shopping experience.
Exactly. It's definitely nice, fun. That's the other fun element of it too.
Exactly. And also you do organization. That sounds really very, very helpful for people who are very busy. Is that something that you feel you had an affinity for, or did you have to get certain training, or how did you decide to offer those services?
Yeah, I've always had an affinity for it. Mm-hmm. If you look at if someone opens up our pantry, we host a lot in our home, and, mm-hmm. When I started the business, it was more about placing the things that I have a passion for, mm-hmm. That I can do, with the skills that I currently have. But of course, there are always opportunities to learn, best practices, of course, and that goes across everything, mm-hmm. Of all the services. So, I just had this knack for it, just mm-hmm. keeping things orderly and kind of walking through, someone's pantry or someone's closet, or unpacking, they just moved and they're unpacking and they're like, which box do I open and how do I know which cabinet goes in, So it's kind of, taking inventory of everything first and then being able to kind of come up with this organized map of what it should look like, and understanding to the client of what they work best in, mm-hmm. meaning do they want to see a picture of what's, in the bin, or, are they kind of, just put it in a bin? That's all I need, So, so there's various levels to the service too when it comes to home organization. But definitely had a knack for it, and I enjoy doing it. Right. And, I do, relocation is one of the services I do offer. And, those are kind of more short term. And, of course, I have a better handle of what it is that I'd like to focus on versus when I started this 2 years ago, where it's like, do anything and everything. And, it's like, well, where do I feel the most connected to a client? And that was my answer. And, for anyone in the service industry or thinking about it, I always, the best part of, of this whole being, a concierge, a service provider to households is being able to get to know. You may not know all the 10 things, that you may know six months down the road in 1 hour conversation, but you get to know them. It's like courting your client, right? And, for me, I always, if I had to give some recommendation is, to those in the service industry is to compile a mental log or even just, in your customer management file, even through networking or just current clients or potential clients what's that one thing that sticks out to you the most? What's a personal tidbit? And then that personal tidbit could be used somewhere down the road, maybe after that, a project is over with the client or an engagement with the company. And, for instance, I have clients who kind of share, some personal information of what their favorite chocolate is, or you notice and observe that a client likes fresh flowers at home every single week. And, I take note of those things. And then you turn that into recognition without actually verbally saying, hey, I noticed that I remember the fact that you like chocolate, so here you go. You kind of, I like to leave this surprise and delight factor of just writing a simple note and just, thank you for allowing us to service you, to bring to life the celebration that you wanted to have, for your child, here's a little something, so it's really, kind of closing up that service, with something really, important, as a means to have that client remember you, as much as you remembered them, about some of their favorite things.
And that's a great idea. It's all those really nice personal touches that make a big difference. I think that's a great idea, and certainly I'm sure the listeners of those people who have business or looking to start one, not to forget that it's how you build those relationships that's really important. People remember that, and it makes them feel good, and then you're able to create that trust between you and them, and the fact that you know what they like and that you appreciate them, and that's really important. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hi, this is Deborah. Not only am I host of Women Entrepreneurs Radio, but I'm also a writer and coach. I've learned that making professional changes calls for a change in mindset, and that's not always easy to do. In my book, Think Like an Entrepreneur, Transforming Your Career and Taking Charge of Your Life, you'll learn the 5 steps to thinking like an entrepreneur so that you can move from idea to action. You'll also get information on how to manage fear of failure and how to banish self-doubt. And you'll receive lots of motivation to pick you up and point you in the right direction when you're facing the emotional and mental challenges that come with making life changes. In fact, one reviewer said, the book gave me ideas to match with my own feelings. This book is clear, straightforward. All tips are really good and easy to apply. I couldn't agree more. So get your copy today of Think Like an Entrepreneur, Transforming Your Career and Taking Charge of Your Life. It's available in print, ebook, and audiobook on Amazon.com.
Okay, everyone, we're back with Grace Keller of Saving Grace, and she's been sharing with us a lot of really good information about her concierge business, and also about connecting with your clients and, how she manages all the different things that she does for her clients and also for herself and her family. So, hope you are taking notes out there, whether you're interested in starting a concierge business or you're in one or any kind of business. I think there's a lot to learn here about how you can also do similar things for yourself and taking care of yourself, and also with, connecting with your clients and providing the best service that you can. So, Grace, I think that you touched on before about the holiday, and I think that'd be, a good idea to ask you, as far as people getting, things together for the holidays. A lot of times people can be kind of frazzled and anxious when that comes up. Do you have any tips for the person who doesn't really want to get crazy during the holiday season, but wants to really have, get things together and have it done very well?
I won't get very gender specific on this one, not to bash my male clients here. But, having this event, with personal shopping, highlighting the personal shopping service, right, is actually open up the minds of, potential clients, their significant others, to what it may be that their actual significant other might actually be interested for the holiday season. And if they are, they can actually purchase it at the event. But I would say the main tip is, starting early. I think that kind of gets everyone so frazzled. Is to start early. I got to get the best deal. And, it's as much as I kind of hit on the whole surprise and delight factor of just taking notice and being observant of what it is that could be a good gift idea, or, surprising the client, is do the same thing for the people on your list, right? And I say that online shopping is definitely the easiest way. We can get our hands on so many great sites, so many great retailers, and so many great deals out there. Not necessarily now, but give it a few weeks and, start thinking about what it is that, you're hearing maybe around the house. Ladies like to drop hints. That's a little tidbit that, the male counterparts might need to be able to, start picking up on. Because predominantly, the women are in the household, the decision maker as far as shopping. So I'm trying to change that a little bit by having, personal shopping events that actually invite both male and females. To kind of help change that little, concern and stress of figuring out now what, because I hear a lot from clients is, oh, she just goes ahead and buys, her own gift, or, he's going to go buy his own gift because it's just easier. Yeah. So why not, surprise each other? And, even if it's something little, it doesn't have to be anything big. And I think a lot of people get caught up with, it has to be this big, shiny, big gift.
Right.
But it doesn't. It's being thoughtful and purposeful with your gift.
Mm-hmm. That's a great suggestion. And I think what's really good about it is it can go for any holiday. We talked about the holidays, and of course, anyone listening, you may be listening to this and it's another time of year, but there's always the possibility that it's something's coming up or some kind of event. And, this is good advice for I think, any kind of situation where you may be exchanging gifts or giving a gift for someone, to really kind of not look at it as something intimidating that you have to do. And, as far as also gifts, I know a lot of times businesses will give gifts or people in that kind of environment. A lot of times, do you think that there are just certain types of gifts that are better, like from a business standpoint?
Oh, it's a great question. I always try to, amongst the entrepreneur community, I always am curious to hear what they actually do give out to their clients. And I always try to kind of give in my little pitch about supporting local. I think be a gift from somewhere local, whether it be a local confectioner or, you know, a local bakery, and actually, or bringing food in for, you know, for business clients, it is definitely, you know, something different versus, you know, kind of the staple of, you know, just, you know, gift certificate or something, you know. Again, you know, having a corporate gift that for businesses that they can actually touch and feel is always going to, you know, be on the top.
Could you please share where people can find you?
Sure. People can find us at savinggracechicago.com. And then on Facebook, we are listed as, you know, Saving Grace as a Chicago service company as well.
So, Grace, this has really been a very nice discussion, and I've learned a lot about concierge services, particularly your service and what you're offering, and I think it sounds really exciting, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Deborah.
So, everyone, I know you enjoyed the show, and if any of you are, you know, thinking about starting a business or you're in business and you know, you really got inspired, then please be sure to share this show with others that you know, and make sure that you share it on social media. And also, you know, reach out to Grace and visit her site. And definitely, if you're in the Chicago area, definitely, you know, connect with her and see what services that she's offering or events that you want to participate in. So, once again, it's been Women Entrepreneurs Radio with your host, Deborah Bailey. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. You can also join in the conversation on Facebook.com/Women Entrepreneurs and on the website, WomenEntrepreneursSecrets.com. And don't forget to listen in on dvcoach.podomatic.com and on iTunes.